Battles that will shape the future of Texas are forming now on ballots across the state.
We need to change this broken system that we're living in.
As candidates file to run in the March primary, we dig into the issues that could drive voters to the polls. After the impeachment trial, Attorney General Ken Paxton aims for political revenge, the steps he's taking now against members of his own party. From pageants to politics, a former Miss Texas is running for a seat in the Texas House.
And I'm pulling back the curtain so that they can see exactly what that process looks like.
How the titles and tiaras influenced her decision to pursue a path in government.
Produced from the Capitol in Austin and airing statewide, this is the award-winning State of Texas.
Hello and thank you for joining us. I'm Josh Hinkle. Right now, the field is taking shape for the 2024 elections in Texas. There are just over 2 weeks left for candidates to file to be on the ballot, but already we're seeing some trends. Some incumbent Republicans will face primary challengers who aim to push the state farther to the right. And as DuPree shows us, part of this is being fueled by a push for political revenge.
Attorney General Ken Paxton Jr. is hereby at this moment reinstated.
Since the Senate cleared Ken Paxton to return to office, he's now rolling out endorsements to almost a dozen people so far to take down House Republicans who voted for his impeachment.
Right now, he's at the height of his popularity, and he's using that to try to shape the races going forward.
Paxton set his sights close to home in Collin County. One of the 4 targets there is Representative Matt Shaheen.
Paxton's not really relevant. I'm a conservative fighter that's been getting the job done. We're getting a lot of conservative wins across the goal line.
He will face businessman Wayne Richard, who says the impeachment put him over the top to enter the primary.
I can understand how our incumbents are hoping that the constituents forget about it, but they're not going to forget about it.
To call this a political vote is to impugn the reputation of the senators who voted on it.
One of Paxton's defense lawyers during the impeachment trial, Mitch Little, announced he's planning a primary challenge against a Republican incumbent. He'd like to unseat Representative Cronda Timish of Carrollton, who voted for impeachment. Little previously served as her campaign treasurer when she first ran for office. Paxton posted on social media encouraging Little to run. Republican voters will ultimately determine how much influence Paxton has when they head to the polls in less than 4 months.
We've seen a trend of Republican incumbents facing challengers aiming to push the party further to the right. Meanwhile, some incumbent Democrats are facing challengers who want more progressive policies. That's the case in one Houston area district. As DuPree shows us, a Democratic incumbent known for supporting progressive causes now faces a primary challenge after a controversial vote.
The Texas Capitol is more than 180 miles from this reliably Democratic House district in South Houston, which is set for a primary battle among progressive candidates.
And here what we're seeing is a very, very liberal representative being challenged from further left because of some votes on very controversial issues that are important to Democratic constituents.
Democrat Sean Thierry has held this seat since 2017 and would now like to serve a 5th term. She's touting her record working across party lines on issues like maternal mortality and school security.
It's not political for me, it's personal.
However, she is taking criticism for a different part of her record. Thierry was only one of 4 Democrats who voted to support the ban on certain treatment options for transgender minors. She spoke on the House floor about this vote and talked to us previously about standing by her decision.
I believe that the majority of people that live, work, and play in my district agree with me, and I heard from them.
Thierry's vote led to 2 people now wanting to unseat her. The latest challenger is union organizer Lauren Ashley Simmons.
I want to be a representative for my district because I love where I live. I love my neighbors.
Simmons is campaigning in part on expanding healthcare access, so that's why she's critical of Thierry's vote and how it could affect parents with transgender children.
In the immediate sense, I'm thinking, wow, these are families who are going to leave this state. And they live in a district where they should be safe.
I don't feel represented, and many people don't feel represented.
Activist Ashton Woods jumped into the primary in May, a day after Thierry voted in favor of the trans healthcare law.
The thing is that we will run our campaigns with integrity and make sure that regardless of who wins this nomination, it won't be Sean Thierry.
Political experts foresee even just a single issue playing a bigger part in primaries next year on both sides of the aisle. Professor Emily Sidner points out how Republican candidates may face their own tests over Ken Paxton's impeachment, as well as the governor's push for education savings accounts.
Raising this sort of hypothetical that the issue of school choice, school vouchers, public education, et cetera, could be one of the dividing distinctions between these different candidates.
Will DuPree, State of Texas.
We've told you in the past about Representative Thierry's work on the issue of maternal health. This past session, she pushed through a bill to make improvements to the state's Maternal Mortality and Morbidity Review Committee. We reached out to Representative Thierry for this story, but she declined our request for an interview. Are Texas lawmakers too liberal or too conservative? What new polls show us about how Texas voters view the people who represent them now? Will Ted Cruz hold on to his Senate seat? It's one of the big questions for Texas voters to decide. We're taking a closer look at the Democratic candidates hoping to challenge Cruz. And a former Miss Texas targets a longtime Republican state representative in next year's election. Why it's shaping up as a campaign pitting youth versus experience.